Welcome back to the Maelstrom, ladies and gentlemen. We have another Warhammer 40k battle report for you today. 2,000 points, Nurgle Demons versus Thousand Suns. We're going to be playing Cleanse and Capture from the rulebook with Spearhead deployment. We have our 6 objectives set up here. We have one here in the trenches, one on the Firestorm redoubt, a 4th one here behind the Imperial Knight Repair Center, and then we have one here and the final objective here. So those are our 6 objectives. Thousand Suns will be on the far side of the table with the Nurgle Demons taking the trenches. We'll be right back with the armies. First up, we have Grandfather Nurgle's contribution to battle. We are running 2 battalions. We have for our HQs a Great Unclean One with the sword and flail. We have 4 heralds. We have 2 poxbringers, a sloppity bile piper, and a spoil pox scrivener. We have a feculent gnarlmaw in the fortifications. And then for our fast attack, we have 6 drones with an icon and an instrument. Moving over into troops, which is the meat and potatoes of the army, we have 3 squads of 3 Nurglings, 3 squads of 30 plague bearers, and 1 squad of 29 plague bearers, and they have an instrument and an icon in each squad. That is it for Nurgle's contribution. We will be right back with the Thousand Suns.
Alright, the Thousand Suns are organized into a battalion. First HQ in the Warlord is Ahriman. His psychic powers today: Death Hex, Prescience, and Warp Time. The second HQ is a Demon Prince with Gaze of Fate and Diabolic Strength, and he will be carrying a Dark Matter Crystal. In the troop slots, I have 3 10-man rubric squads. Their psychic powers are Firestorm of Tzeentch, Weaver of Fates, and Glamour of Tzeentch. Then filling out the rest of the troops, I have 2 squads of 13 Zangors and 1 squad of 12 Zangors, and they all have Brayhorns. Then in fast attack, I have a squad of 5 Chaos Spawn. In the elites, I have a trio of Hellbrutes with plasma cannons and missile launchers. And finishing out the list in the heavies, I have a trio of Predator Annihilators.
Alright, you have seen the armies and you have seen the table. We will be back as we get stuck into the Maelstrom. Deployment is complete. Nurgle Demons were able to get down first. We have our entire army deployed here in a blob. We have all of the Plague Bearers around the Feculent Gnarlmaw here. In the center, around the Gnarlmaw itself, we have the 4 Heralds bringing up the 4 corners around the tree. The Nurglings have then spread out from that point to the corners to try to get in some mid-game shenanigans here. We have 1 squad there, 1 squad here, and the 3rd squad on this flank. And then tearing through the warp, we have the Great Unclean One and the Flies. Turn it over to Josh now to walk you down the Suns.
We set up the Suns so that we could push forward onto the 3 objectives in front of us. The Zangors are all on the front rank, except for on my far left where we put our 1st squad of rubrics out on the edge with the spawn beside them. Then we set the rest of the rubrics up with the Hellbrutes in the midline, with Ahriman providing support in the center, and on the baseline against the board edge is our trio of Annihilators with the Demon Prince standing over the top of them.
Alright, so the Death Guard, or the Nurgle did finish first. The Thousand Sons have deigned not to attempt to seize. So the Chaos Demons are going to go first. We'll go ahead and get that turn underway, and then we will be back. Nurgle Demons have finished their initial move. Nurglings peeled back to protect the flank from a Dark Matter Crystal drop on this end against our characters. We then went ahead and flooded the center with the Plague Bearers. Got a couple of good runs and are going to attempt some charges here against the front of the army. On this end, spread out for some opportunistic charges against long-range targets in the off chance that we can make it. So that's it for the movement. We're going to go ahead and make what charges we can. We will be back after the fight phase. Turn 1 for Nurgle rolls to an end. 3 Plague Bearer squads were able to make close combat. They quickly went through the lead squad of Zangors and moved into the Hellbrute and the Marines behind. On this side, the Hellbrute, the Spawn, and the Marines were wrapped up in the assaults here. We charged into the Spawn with a 12. We're able to wrap into the Marines. Killed off 1 Spawn, dealt 1 Spawn a couple of wounds, and didn't do anything else from that point. Lost 5 Plague Bearers here. 2 more went down to morale. Lost 1 from the yellow squad and lost 4 from the green squad total. The rubrics were converting very well on their wound rolls. We're able to cut down a pretty good handful of plague bearers there. So that is it for the top of 1. The plague bearers are going to score first strike for the Zangor squad that they cut down. Zinch's response is coming up next.
Okay, so the Thousand Sons are up to the assault phase. We fell back with everything in the army that was in combat except for the spawn, and redressed our lines, leaving us with, for the shooting phase, leaving us with the 3 Predator Annihilators, 1 Hellbrute, and 1 squad of rubrics. Ahriman cast Death Hex onto the yellow poxed squad, removing their invulnerable save, and then put prescience on the squad of rubrics. The rubrics took a Vets of the Long War and downed 6 with their fire, and between the las cannons from the Annihilators and the Hellbrute, we knocked down 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16 of the yellow pox squad. A couple of other small smites went off, knocking down
two or three, something like that. Yeah.
2 or 3, but in the process rolled a 12 and lost 3 rubrics out of this squad. At least those sorcerers don't blow up now when they do that. The Demon Prince made a charge into the end of the line by the spawn. Ahriman made a charge into the heart of the line here in front of the rubric squad, and both squads of Zangors made flanking charges into the remainder of the yellow squad that we left standing.
All right, we're going to work these combats. We'll be right back.
All right, so the assault phase comes to an end. The slaughter was pretty immense. I think grand total, something in the neighborhood of 37 or 38 plague bearers from 3 squads were laid low, and in the process of all the combats, I used a cycle of slaughter on a squad of Zangors. I used a fated mutation on a squad of spawn. We killed 37, 38 of them, and I lost 5 Zangors from the return stroke. So not a bad dent in the wall of green that locked my army up at the top of 1.
All right, so what are you looking at objective-wise?
We drew Defend Objective 2, Vengeance Long Awaited, which is score a victory point if at least 1 enemy unit is destroyed during my turn, and Witch Hunter. So we achieved nothing on objectives, and I will be discarding Defend Objective 2.
Yep, came within a couple of plague bearers, left just the instrument and the banner alive from the yellow squad, but we did pay 2 points to prevent Vengeance Long Awaited and First Strike. So those 2 are going to hang in for a little bit longer. On the Nurgle front, we got Defend Objective 1, Defend Objective 4, Defend Objective 2. 2 is here, 1 is here, and 4 is down here. So we are going to score Defend 1 and Defend 2. That will make it 5-0 in favor of Nurgle at the end of turn 1. Nurgle turn 2 coming up next. Nurgle Demons are back up to the assault phase. We went ahead and brought in our flies and our Great Unclean One on this flank. Smite from the Great Unclean One claimed 2 of the rubrics, and he was also able to get off Miasma of Pestilence. Down here we failed a Virulent Blessing from one of the Poxbringers. The other one cast Shriveling Pox on the spawn, got it off, but Ahriman was able to stop it. Fell back from all combats. White Squad advanced over here. They are going to be charging. These guys are going to be charging. We just have to get those moves done. We will be back after the fight phase. Nurgle Demons have finished up turn 2. Everything went ahead and moved their assaults in. We were able to make it with all of the Plague Demons. We were able to kill off all the Zangors and lock up Hellbrute and both squads of Thousand Sons. Ahriman was also stuck in combat and lost a wound. Another spawn was laid low and another took 2 wounds in exchange for a handful of plague bearers across the front. We did get 6 back in this squad when reality blinked, but we were unable to make our charges on this flank. Our objectives for this turn were Secure Objective 1, which we will score. Area Denial, which we score 1 point for here in the center of the table after wiping the Zangors out. And then Secure Objective, or Defend Objective 4 was going to fall at the end of next turn because Objective 4 is down here. So at that point, the Thousand Sons are going to go ahead and tap. They just keep getting pushed tighter to their board edge with no firepower. So that will be a Nurgle Demons victory. Make sure you hit the like button and give us a subscription if you like what you saw. We got plenty more games coming in the future. As always, guys, thanks for spending time with us today at the Maelstrom.